In this video, we will discuss two important protocol TCP and UDP. What is protocol? So protocol is basically a set of rules and regulation that help computer and devices communicate with each other. So if I say in another word, in the world of computer network, a protocol defines how data should be sent, received, and understood, making sure that everything runs smoothly and communications stay clear between the devices. So we call them a protocol. So let me explain you in another word. When two devices want to talk over the internet or network, they need a way to send the message back and forth. Now there is TCP and UDP, two different methods they can use to send these messages. One of them is transmission control protocol TCP and another one is user datagram protocol. Both work on the transport layer. Let's discuss the first one, TCP. TCP stands for transmission control protocol. TCP is connection oriented protocol. It means it requires a three-way handshake to be complete to transmit the data between two locations. It requires to establish connection before sending the data. That's why we call them connection-oriented protocol. Also, TCP feature built-in system that look for error and guarantee the data get delivered in the same order it is sent. So it will send the data in order. If there is any error, it will resend and guaranteed that it will send the data. And this is called three-way handshake. So this is a client and this is a server. So the client sends send and the server responds with send acknowledgement, and after that the client say acknowledgement. We will discuss these flag later on. But this is the three-way handshake. Let me quickly show you in the lab. So if I go to my Kali Linux, okay, let me log in my Kali Linux and let me access this web server. Web server IP is 192.168.1.3 and Kali Linux IP is 100.0.1.3. Okay, and I already started Wireshark. Let me stop. Let me start and let me start again. Okay, and let me access this web server. Okay, I access this server. And now here, if I type IP address 1.3, which is the server IP, this one. So here you will see the first packet is send. Then after that, there is send acknowledgement. Okay, let me go up. Yeah, there's one. It's better to zoom it. So there is send acknowledgement, and finally we have acknowledgement. Okay. So let me zoom again. Let me show you from the source and destination perspective. So 100.0.1.3 is my source, which is Kali Linux, and 192.168.1.3 is the destination server. It sent the send packet and the server response, which is 1.3 to 100.1.3 with a send acknowledgement. And finally the Kali Linux sent the acknowledgement packet, and after that is get the data. You see get HTTP and then start to get the data. So that's why we call them connection oriented and three-way handshake. So these are the three-way handshake. If I click on TCP and here transmission control protocol, so here you can see the source port is random, destination is port 80. There is a sequence number as well. As we discussed, it will send the packet in sequence. Okay, and this is a huge header. There is, you can see a lot of detail. There is TCP segment, there is sequence number, there is next sequence number, acknowledgement number, flags, and a lot of information are there in the header. This is the window size, the actual data, and there is a checksum. Okay, and there is a lot of other detail you will find. Okay, TCP option, a lot of detail in the header you can see in the TCP. Okay, while on the other side we have UDP. UDP stand for User Datagram Protocol, which is more straightforward and connection-less internet protocol. Also, it doesn't need any error checking, no recovery services, no overhead, no opening, no maintaining, no termination of connection, and neither it requires three-way handshake. It will send continuously data, either the recipient receive them or not. So the simple logic is request and response. There is no three-way handshake, there is no error correction, there is no error checking, there is no recovery, there is no sequence. So it is totally opposite of TCP. If I go back and let me go to Kali Linux and let me show you from here, let me do NS lookup and let's go back to our lab and Wireshark, and this time let me type UDP. Okay, and this is the DNS request which I sent from 100.0.1.3 to 88. Okay, so there is query and you can see user datagram protocol, source port and destination, source port, destination, and length and checksum. That's it. A small header. There is no huge information like a TCP. This way is very fast. And this is a query and response, query response, query response. That's why I mentioned that there will be request and response. There is no such thing, send acknowledgement, no three-way handshake. So now we understand that this one is a huge header. Also that they don't have a huge header, very small header. Okay. So let's discuss in detail the difference between TCP and UDP. TCP is connection oriented, three-way handshake, I show you, and UDP is connectionless. TCP is reliable and UDP is unreliable. Error checking, so TCP check for error while UDP a little bit basic one. Packet order, yeah, they maintain packet order by sequence number and there is no guarantee and UDP of packet order. Speed, so because it requires huge three-way handshake and more and checking all those things, so TCP is slower and UDP is faster. Overhead, so this is require high and UDP is lower because it don't do any sequence, no error checking, so definitely overhead is lower. Use case, TCP we use in web, email, file transfer. I show you I access when web server, so we normally use them and such things, okay, and email, file transfer, etc., FTP. While on the other side, video streaming and gaming, we use UDP. Data flow control, yes, and there is no data flow control in UDP. Congestion control, yes, and there is in UDP there is no congestion. Broadcasting, no. TCP don't have any broadcasting, while UDP, because there is a video streaming everything, we use broadcasting, so yes, there is a capability. Retransmission, TCP, if there is any error or something not received, so it will retransmit TCP, while UDP will just send the traffic and just send the data, either you receive or not, there is no transmission. Okay, handshake, yes, TCP use three-way handshake. I just show you the three-way handshake, while on the other side there is no three-way handshake in UDP. This is heavyweight and this is lightweight, because UDP header I just show you is very light and this is heavy. TCP is a huge header and it requires many things to check. Packet structure is complex and this is so simple. UDP is simple, I just show you the header and there is not a lot of information there, just source, destination, length and checksum, and that's it. While on the other hand, we have a TCP which is very complex and it requires many things. Delivery is guaranteed definitely because it's check the sequence and many other things to send and rechecking, while not guaranteed. On the other side, we have UDP. So these are the main difference between these two protocol. Here I put in detail that connection oriented, this is connectionless, there is no delivery of guarantee, there is ensure delivery and TCP. So we discuss all these in detail. Okay, and TCP requires send acknowledgement and acknowledgement, while UDP just requests and response. So you need to know about these two important protocols.